Welcome to Daily Dose of Drama. Today I'm going to have Friar Lawrence, which is this man here, tell me about the tragedy of Romeo and Juliet. Mr. Lawrence, when was the first time you heard Romeo speak of his love for Juliet?
All right, the first time I ever heard about Romeo's love for Juliet was when Romeo came to me in the morning and told me about it when he first saw me.
What did you do about his situation?
Well, he came up to me and asked me if I would marry him and Juliet the same day.
What did you do?
Well, I agreed to marry them secretly, and it would end, and I thought it would end the hatred between their two families. It was a quick decision, but it seemed like it was the best choice I could make that could end the feud.
What happened the next time you saw the two lovers, Romeo and Juliet?
The next time I saw Romeo and Juliet was later the same day. I was marrying the happy couple. Romeo and Juliet were both very anxious to get the wedding started. It was very wonderful an event. I then decided not to leave them alone together without them being married. I did that in case something wrongly happened, if somebody saw that they were married. So
Romeo and Juliet were married in only one day?
yes, they were. The two lovers did not give each other very much time to think about their marriage, though, so they sort of just rushed it.
Would you call this an impulse decision?
Yes, I would.
Alrighty. Romeo, what happened the next time you saw Romeo?
The next time I saw Romeo, it was after Tybalt died, and Romeo came rushing to see me about what happened.
Who is Tybalt and how did he die?
Tybalt was Juliet's dearest cousin. He was a Capulet. Tybalt was slain by Romeo, and this was after Tybalt killed Mercutio. Mercutio died defending Romeo, who was one of his closest friends.
How did Romeo's actions affect his own life and Mercutio's family?
After Romeo killed Tybalt, he was not going to be executed, but he was banished from the city because of what he did. Mercutio was a relative of the prince, and this caused the prince to be very angered with the two families. Because Tybalt killed Mercutio and Romeo killed Tybalt, the prince took mercy on Romeo for his actions.
What was Romeo's reaction to his own banishment?
Romeo was deeply distraught and said, "Be merciful and say death. Exile is much worse than death. Don't say banishment." Romeo's reaction to the prince's sentence was astounding. Then the prince took mercy on Romeo and he killed the man. And all Romeo could think about is how he could not see Juliet. Romeo was thinking too quickly and did not think of a better mindset.
What happened after Romeo's childish rant was over?
After Romeo finished talking, I heard knocking on the door and told him to hide because I knew that they were coming after him. I opened the door and found Juliet's nurse. It appeared that Juliet had been bawling after learning of Romeo's banishment. Because I couldn't say anything, Romeo came rushing out of his hiding place, and after exchanging only a few sentences with the nurse, Romeo said he was going to kill himself with the poison.
What did Romeo decide to do?
Oh, Romeo told me he was going to go see Juliet at night, and no one could see him. I told him that I would find the servant and make him check up on Romeo for the first time. Immediately after I said my last word, he rushed away from me, and because he was really sad.
Did the two families know about Romeo and Juliet's romance?
I was worried about their parents' reaction, so I didn't really tell them about it, so they didn't really know about the marriage at all.
What happened after that?
I remember meeting a count named Paris. Capulet had decided that Juliet would marry Paris. Paris said that he was going to marry Juliet on the Thursday, during the same week. And I commented on how soon it was because no one really expected it. I then asked him if Juliet knew about what Paris was thinking when he responded, and he said that's how my future father-in-law Capulet wants it, and they sort of forced him to get married. And when we finished conversing, Juliet walked in and Paris exchanged formal greetings. After Paris left, I realized the best solution to the marriage was to fake Juliet's death. So I gave her some poison and she took it the night before the wedding, which made her look dead, but she actually was not dead, and everyone thought she was dead. And after Juliet left, I sent a friar to speak to Romeo and tell him about her plan, so he would know like what actually happened, and Juliet wasn't known as dead from him.
Did you think that giving Juliet a concoction would be a promising idea, good idea? If so, how come?
The only way to stop killing herself was to help her fake her death, so like take it away from her. And once she had done this, I would happily have Romeo to rescue her, and like the wedding would be turned into a funeral because like people would think that Juliet was dead, and she would finally be happy after it.
Looking back, was this plan the best way to solve Juliet's problem? Or do you think there was a better solution?
Eventually, like now, I feel like if I just like told their parents about them getting married, their love, like something better could have happened, and like the faking death wouldn't have happened.
How did Juliet's parents react to her death?
I let Capulet know that Juliet was in a better place and that she was going to be with God, and I told everyone to take Juliet would be buried in her best clothes and that she would be with God, so like don't be worried about her that much.
What went wrong with your plan when it seemed to be going down so smoothly?
I sent Friar to Mantua to tell Romeo of my plan, but he never like really left the city.
How come?
The friar I sent was stuck in the plague-ridden house and could not leave because of the plague. When he came back to me, he still had my letter because it was never delivered because of the plague, and I knew that I had to hide Juliet in my cell until Romeo arrived, so he didn't find out.
What happened when you got to the tomb?
When I arrived at the Capulet tomb, I heard a man's voice, and the man was actually Romeo's servant, Balthasar. I asked him what was Romeo doing, and he said that he could not tell me because I was not allowed to know. And then I made my way inside the tomb and I became upset of what I saw in the tomb.
Why are you upset when you entered the tomb?
At the entrance, I found two bloody swords with no one holding them. They were on the ground. And inside the tomb, I saw Romeo's pale face, and Paris's blood-stained body. The only movement in the tomb came from Juliet, and I told her we had to leave, but she would not budge. Juliet made her mind without thinking of the bigger picture. Perhaps if she had not made the impulse decision, she would be living. I had to leave because I knew what was coming, so I left alone in the tomb, and knowing what she would do because Romeo was dead.
What happened when the watchmen came?
The watchmen took me into custody, and once Capulet of Montague arrived at the tomb, I told them the story of Romeo and Juliet.
Do you think that if Romeo and Juliet had not made so many impulse decisions, they would be alive?
Yeah, I actually think they would be alive still, and I even need to think about more decisions I chose to do.
Thank you for your time.
Yep, no problem.